Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Freeholder Bowen. Freeholder Nash. Freeholder Rodriguez. Freeholder Young.
Here.
Deputy Director McDonald. Director Capella.
Here, I'll now ask everyone to rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, in which we will be led by VFW Post 3324 and Scout Troop 117, and then the National Anthem, which will be sung by Serena Garcia.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free, in a home of the brave?
Thank you, VFW Post 3324 and Scout Troop 117. And let's hear it one more time for Serena Garcia. Feel better, Miss Garcia. Looks like you're going through a little rehab. The County of Camden has available as requested large print agendas. If you require a large print agenda, please see the clerk seated to my far right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening.
Welcome to the meeting of the Camden County Board of Freeholders. We're very happy and pleased to be in Runnemede tonight. It is the practice of the Board of Freeholders to hold our meetings each month in one of the municipalities outside of the county seat of Camden, so that all members of the public will have full access to the board meetings. And as is our custom, we're going to ask the governing body to come step forward tonight. Mayor Capatos and members of council, please come forward for a presentation. Mayor Rodriguez, you have joined me. So, Mayor, we're very pleased to be here tonight. Thank you for hosting us, and I know I speak on behalf of the entire Board of Freeholders when I say that it's an honor and a pleasure to be partners in government with this governing body. You guys do so much. You're so progressive, from economic development to public safety to infrastructure. We're really happy to work with you, and I think over the past few years we certainly have accomplished a lot. I talked about some of that at the town hall meeting before, so thank you for having us. Before you say a few words and introduce your members of council, Freeholder Rodriguez has a presentation.
Yes. Give me that secret for a moment. So yes, as the director has said, this town has done a lot for infrastructure and trying to improve the infrastructure of this town. And so I know that right now that you have requested some support to reconstruct 4 roads in an eligible block group, which include Charles Avenue, Phillips Avenue, South Reed Avenue, and Chisler Avenue. These roadway improvements include excavation and full deep reconstruction. The project also includes replacing existing curbs, gutters, driveway aprons, which were required, and ADA-compliant handicap ramps to be installed at all non-compliant intersections. The borough has also received NJ.DOT municipal aid for the project as to lessen the burden of the cost to the project on behalf of the constituents. So now, in order to assist you and to make all of this possible for the residents of Runnemede, we are presenting you with your CDBG check in the amount of $250,000.
Thank you very much.
Yes, to those residents from Runnemede that are here, this project that we just accomplished, it actually just finishing right now, not $1 came from the Borough of Runnemede residents. The money came from CDBG and from the New Jersey Department of Transportation, so we were able to do everything without the help of the taxpayers, which we rely on to do most of our projects. So at this time, I want to introduce my members of council. I have Council President Patty Passio, Councilwoman Ellen Kelly, Councilman John Ranieri, Councilman Mike Root, and Councilman Greg Lockenstein. So from all of us from the Borough of Runnemede, we welcome you to be here this evening, and we always appreciate the freeholders coming to Runnemede and being here. So thank you for coming.
Thank you, Mayor. Each month when we have our meetings in different municipalities, we ask the governing body for the name of a nonprofit in town where needs some recognition and a small donation from the Board of Freeholders. This governing body has chosen the Runnemede Belmar Glendora Rotary Club. I believe Tara Aversa Root is here. So the Rotary Club has existed for over 60 years. Its members comprise of over 20 local professionals. Some of the activities and events they sponsor include outdoor movie nights, Easter egg hunt in Green Acres Park. They build a nice pavilion in Green Acres Park. They help install musical instruments in the park for the children to enjoy. A drug awareness information set up for parents at Maryville School as well as Triton High School, and food and clothing drive. So these are a bunch of volunteers who do a lot of good work, make the best of their spare time, helping other people's lives become better. So thank you and congratulations.
Don't have anything prepared. I just want to say thank you to everyone for all of your help throughout the year and making all of our projects go as well as they do, and we couldn't do it without you. And we believe in service above self, and that's what we're here to do. Serve the community. Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate it. Thank you. Go to the back.
Good evening. It's good to be back home in Runnemede. I say it every time I'm in here, but I've missed many foul shots on these nets here. So tonight I have the honor of presenting this month's Community Award, which is an award that in conjunction with the Freeholder Board, we often seek input from our local mayor and council in making a recommendation to salute someone in town worthy of recognition. So this month's Community Award will be presented to Robert Del Sordo. Can I ask him to come forward, please? So I have a feeling that many people know a lot about Bob, but for those that don't, for those that haven't heard of Mr. Runnemede, as he's often called, Bob is a lifelong resident of the borough. He received his law degree from Rutgers University. He joined the Army after law school. And after his military service, he returned to Runnemede where he opened his law office. Since then, Bob has provided legal assistance to the community through his law practice. He served as Runnemede's library solicitor, zoning and planning board solicitor, municipal judge, prosecutor, and public defender. He's currently attorney to the Runnemede Fire Company, and he's also the treasurer to the Battleship New Jersey. And he is the New Jersey Counsel General to the Retired Police and Fire Association. As I mentioned, he is known throughout town as Mr. Runnemede. And in 2001, he served as the co-chair of Runnemede's 75th anniversary committee, which he put countless hours into making sure it was a success. I can tell you firsthand, I believe I was in 8th grade at the time, and that was just about the time we opened the new municipal building. And that was a very special time in Runnemede's history for sure. And he is a tireless advocate for the veteran community as he established the Veterans Outpost at Camden County College. And for those that were attending our Veterans Day ceremony in 2018 here, he was one of the driving forces in making sure that we had a World War I memorial, if you will, designated and dedicated right outside the doors here. That is here year-round now, and is here to honor the residents of Runnemede and Camden County who served in World War I 100 years ago. So Bob, for that and so many other things that I know that are not on this sheet of paper, we want to congratulate you and present you with this proclamation on behalf of the Camden County Board of Freeholders. Congratulations, Bob.
Thank you, freeholders, general public, members of council, and mayor. I'm accepting this very humbly. I'm accepting it on behalf of every veteran in this community, including those from World War I. When we weren't a community yet, we were part of Center Township. When they left their homes, they left their jobs, they left their farms to preserve liberty in the fields and in the greens and in the trenches in France and Germany. I remember as a kid seeing World War I veterans proudly displaying that banner when they walked on the 4th of July parade. And every year, there were fewer and fewer. One year, there was only 4 left. And that was the last we saw of them. And I said to myself, I want to do something for them. They were forgotten, but they'll never, ever be forgotten in this borough again. So I'll accept this, but I say this to every one of you. Thank a veteran when you see him tonight. God bless America.
Congratulations. Gloria Young?
Thank you, Director. Meade. How's everybody doing? It's good? Good. So as we travel through the municipalities, we ask the governing body to pick an outstanding youth throughout the community so we can recognize them. I'm a strong believer in that the youth is our future, and I truly, truly believe that we try to make sure that we reward them as much as possible to let them know that they're doing a good job and they can maybe stay on a good path there. So, this month's young community leader is Mr. Stephen McPherson. And I got a special gift besides this citation at the very end, all right? Okay. So Stephen is a senior at Oak Brook High School in Pine Hill. He's been in scouting for more than 9 years. He loves carpentry and does an excellent work in wood shop. This scout volunteers at Runnemede's VFW Post 3324 and Violent Veterans Home. And Runnemede, Stevens volunteered for the Runnemede Clean Communities, participated in welcome home ceremonies for Runnemede soldiers along with the VFW and Warrior Watch Riders. Helped and participated in all Runnemede's VFW events, performed as a color guard during the girls' Runnemede's town hall meetings and special events. Stephen recently earned the distinguished ranking of Eagle Scout. And just to let everybody know, probably 95% of our young community leaders who get this award all have somehow reached the Eagle Scout. So I think that's really got something to do with us having some really good kids growing up in our neighborhoods here. He designed and built a bench for seating at Brigadier General William C. Doyle Memorial Cemetery. The project meant a great deal to him because his grandfather was laid to rest in that cemetery. So for all that you do and all that you continue to do in your community, this is why you are the young community leader of the first one. So real quick, so in my day job, I am a business agent for the Carpenters Union. So you're a senior, you love carpentry, so when you graduate, here's my card. Was that a couple words? Okay. We got one more. So, again, as we travel through, I have the honor of being liaison for sustainability, which is really great. And every year for the last, 2 or 3 years since I've been doing this, I get up here and I talk about sustainability and how great sustainable is. But the true fact of the matter is that Chris Waldron, our Director of Sustainability, he is the guy that really spearheads everything that we do in this county to make it sustainable. Right now, 13 out of 37 towns are certified bronze or silver. All towns are registered in the program. We're the only one of 2 counties that have every single municipality registered for Sustainable New Jersey. We have a greenhouse that down in Lakeland that produces more than 10,000 flowers that goes through our parks and through our islands throughout the county. We have hydroponics. Thank you. Say that, he knows. We have a hydroponics out there that we do fruits, we do vegetables for the Philadelphia Zoo, for their animals. We do it for Cathedral Kitchen. And so when everybody else is not growing vegetables in the winter, our hydroponics is growing vegetables in the winter. And I just wanted to take a couple seconds to say thank you to Chris and all you do for this county. Thank you very much. Now, our sustainable champion of the month of January is Ms. Rachel Omenson. So Rachel is an art and photography educator at Triton High School and a Runnemede resident. She lives a very sustainable life in the warmer weather. You'll find her biking everywhere for her health, but also reducing her carbon footprint. She also served on the Runnemede Green Team for over 2 years and has spearheaded several community projects and has engaged children and adults as many green team events. She's known to repurpose many items to cut down on landfill waste and tries to do almost all things electronically. Rachel even created a little free library in front of her home where people can share their favorite books. And for this, you are our assistant.
They should know it's a mistake to give me a microphone. I'm a teacher, for God's sakes. Freeholder Young, I didn't grow vegetables or fruit, but I did grow, plants, but I did grow fruit in my house. I have giant lemon trees in my house. Wow. So, you get that? Yes. So, there it is, giant. I know. So, 5.5 years ago when I moved to Runnemede, I clearly don't get my house. I live right on Big Timber Creek, and I was like, oh cool, I live on a creek. And then I bought the History of Runnemede book, and I learned that that creek behind the house not only played a huge historical part in battles from 1700s, and the Native Americans lived and worked and used that creek for food and everything, transportation. So once I was asked to be on the green team with these awesome folks right here, we sit in a room once a month with pizza and or donuts, and we literally decide what the heck do we need to fix in Runnemede, and why is and why, I'm like, there's my students there. Why is Hirsch Lake going to be empty and a mud flat within 5 years? That's creepy and gross to us. So we sit there and try to figure out how we can fix it. And these awesome folks sit there and we work over ideas and ideas and ideas. And we really do believe that you guys do care about the recycling. You absolutely care about not using Roundup and other like Monsanto products going into that water, because fish, turtles, cute other things that fly and creep around, and we don't want them dead. So this is what we sit there doing, how to figure out how to keep your kids and your pets safe, not having pesticides on the soccer fields, and not having chemicals go into the creek, and hopefully Hirsch Lake will still be there, in a few years, so, all your kids can keep fishing there, and people can keep standing there and being awesome. So I want to thank my green team for nominating for this extravaganza.
Rodriguez.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
So every month, we freeholders, we take a turn and we have the opportunity to recognize an employee who has been absolutely outstanding and wonderful and provided great services to our residents in the county. I always make it a practice to ask my directors to go back to meet with their supervisors and the staff and to find that person that really stood out and shone. I was a little surprised, although I should have been, that this month's honoree was Elvis Rosario. I'd also like to ask Forward and Beyond, the director. Pascal, would you like to join us as well? Because I know you work with Elvis as well. So Elvis is a mother of two. She's bilingual. She came to us about a year ago. And the reason I say, that's the reason why I say I was a little surprised. The reason I say I should not have been is because I have seen her in action. I've seen her in action, and she is absolutely fabulous. She's always punctual, she's on time, she dots the I's, crosses the T's, she's always professional, she always has a smile, she is very loving, very caring, she does what she does from the heart. And I know I've been at many meetings where Delvis has sat, where she's provided supports as a keyboarding clerk, more than that, honestly, but where she's provided supports and just really help things move along, stay organized, stay functional, everybody on the same page. So that is my observation of Delvis. And I've known her longer since she's been with the county, so I knew that she would be great coming into the county when she came in. Very, very pleased. I'd like to now take the moment to have her director address and speak a little bit about her.
It's a pleasure to talk about Delvis. And I never like to choose this because it's like choosing among your children, you know, who's the best employee. So I ask around, and people, many people said Delvis, and like the Freeholders said, Delvis has been with us only a year, but it feels like it's been a really long time. It has, maybe longer for her. But she is, and I mentioned this when we were having a little dinner earlier, Delvis is probably, and I've been around a while, one of the most positive people I've ever met. And I won't speak of her personal, struggles, but Delvis getting to work every day is a struggle in itself. She has to go through a lot to get here. And she doesn't call out. I think maybe one call out the whole year. And she's always there. She always lends a helping hand, and she's been in health fairs where people have said, who is that person? Who is that person? You know, she's just great. You know, she does it all. And I know the people that work with her, you can kind of tell someone's positivity by look at the people who showed up and cheered for her. And some of them are our crew, some of them are from her church and her family. So it's a little bit of everybody, and I want to ask Carrie to come up too. She's her direct supervisor. Delvis is a gem. I hope everything continues, and I'm very proud to see her get this award.
I just want to say thank you so much for everything you do. You bring much more than just your professionalism. You lighten the mood, and you really show, I think you embody making it better together. You really connect our residents. They might call for one thing. It may not be something we can do, but you make sure you connect them to what is out there. And you make the county and us proud. You're an incredible woman.
Okay, let it out.
Thank you.
Okay, so Delvis came with an experience we haven't had in the communicable disease unit and the community health unit. So you have one of those staff members that comes and whatever she does is magic, and you ask, can this be really done before? Why haven't we thought about it before? So that's the kind of person that she is, and it's been a pleasure working with you. And I believe she's doing everything right, and you see that this is a position that she needs a higher position. So, thank you.
One more thing, and it's very important. I think in working in life, Delvis has a great sense of humor.
So, Delvis, we do have a couple of gifts for you. It's maybe not everything that you deserve, but at least it's a little something for now. We want a clock because we want to make sure you keep coming to work on time. So you're going to get a clock. A small little gift so you can take the family out or splurge on yourself. How's that? Why don't you? Okay, she needs to splurge on herself because she needs to take herself to get her a massage, some kind of beauty treatment, just mani-pedi, do something that's going to make you feel really, really, really good about yourself because you have earned it. You have earned it. You've only been with us a year, but you really have impacted the department in a huge way. In a huge way. And I know I've seen it. I've seen you in meetings. I've seen what you've done. I also know your heart and I know your history. So I am so, so proud that you're getting this.
good evening, everyone. Buenas tardes a todos. I first and foremost would like to thank my Almighty Father, my Creator, who has taught me that whatever you do in life, you do it in excellence. You do it as if it were for someone that you know. I have been placed in a very special department. The Department of Health and Human Services is awesome. It is a pleasure to come to work. I guarantee you. Better than staying home with 6 grandkids. So it's a pleasure to be at work. I have definitely learned a lot as a Camden City resident. There's a lot of services that Camden County offers that I personally was not aware of. So when I do go out in the community, I take advantage of it and I let everyone know what wonderful services Camden County Board of Freeholders, thank you so much, provide. And I speak in Spanish. As you notice, I make sure that the Hispanic population also knows of the wonderful services that Camden County provides. I also wanted to take an opportunity to say yes, it has been a very difficult year. Struggle is real, but yes. But again, it is a pleasure to be at work. Growing professionally and learning is a blessing. And I wanted to thank the Board of Freeholders for providing shuttle services. Without that, I would not be able to make it to work. So thank you.
The next order of business is the minutes of our previous meeting. May I have a motion to accept the minutes as presented? So moved.
Freeholder Shenandoah.
Yes.
Bowen.
Yes.
Nash. Yes. Rodriguez. Yes. Young.
Yes.
McDonald.
Yes.
DePelli.
Yes. The next item is the Comptroller's report. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Freeholder Shenandoah.
Yes.
Bowen.
Yes.
Nash. Rodriguez. Yes. Young.
Yes.
McDonald.
Yes.
DePelli.
Yes. The next item of business is correspondence. Madam Clerk, do we have any correspondences?
No. No, I'm sorry. Actually, I do have. Do you want me to read it?
All right, so, ladies and gentlemen, this portion is open to the public for discussion of resolutions to be acted upon tonight. There will be another public hearing later in the meeting at which members of the public can ask any questions they want regarding the business of Camden County. This portion is limited to discussion of those resolutions to be acted upon tonight. The public hearing is open. Discussion of resolutions.
Seeing no one, move to close. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The public hearing is closed. Ladies and gentlemen, at our caucus on Tuesday evening, the Board of Freeholders reviewed the resolutions to be acted upon tonight. It was at that time that the board discussed items to be voted on. We'll be voting on resolutions in blocks based on the unanimous consent of the Freeholders. We will begin by voting on resolutions 1 and 2, for which there is unanimous consent. Do I hear a motion for resolutions 1 and 2?
So moved.
Second.
Freeholder Shenandoah.
Yes.
Bowen.
Yes.
Nash. Rodriguez. Young.
Yes.
McDonald.
Yes.
DePelli.
Yes. Resolution 3.
So moved. Second.
Freeholder Shenandoah.
Yes.
Bowen.
Yes.
Nash. Rodriguez. Young.
Abstain.
McDonald.
Yes.
DePelli.
Yes. 4 through 46.
So moved.
Second.
I'm sorry, 45.
So moved.
Second.
Freeholder Shenandoah.
Yes.
Bowen.
Yes.
Nash. Rodriguez. Young.
Yes.
McDonald.
Yes.
Capelli.
46? Yes, I'm sorry, 46. Hearing no motion, that resolution is not passed. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, the meeting is open to any member of the public who wishes to address the Board of Freeholders. I now declare this public hearing open. We will begin with Kenneth Lee of Washington Avenue in Runnemede.
How are you? I just wanted to thank you for all that you've done for our community and for the state of New Jersey. I want to let you know that I've been an artist in residence down at the Wheaton Arts and Cultural Center down in Millville for about 24 years. I have been awarded a grant from the New Jersey State Council on the Arts. Back at the beginning of my career, I received a fellowship, and you may have seen one of the artworks that I did in Trenton. I did a big stained glass skylight that's in the annex of the New Jersey State House that depicts the history of New Jersey. My father was the person who wrote the book, The History of Runnemede, that was referred to earlier, so I'm really kind of pleased to be able to continue to be in this town. And I've recently opened, I've moved a studio space up here onto the Blackfriars Pike, and I'm starting to try to be involved with the community arts movement. So I just wanted to thank you for the support that you've done for things like that around the county, and let you know that we're looking forward to helping to revitalize our community also through the arts. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Seeing no other members of the public who wish to comment, I will entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Public hearing is closed. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, I will open the floor to members of the Board of Freeholders, and we'll begin with Freeholder Nash.
Thank you, Director, and welcome everyone. It's always great to be in Runnemede, and to the Mayor and Council members, thank you for hosting us in this beautiful building once again. I do want to thank Mr. Del Sordo for recognizing the World War I veterans. My grandfather was a veteran of World War I and fought in the Battle of the Argonne Forest, and one of the deadliest battles, if not the deadliest battle in American history. So I do appreciate it's a forgotten generation, I guess, because it was 100 years ago. So I do appreciate you bringing that back, and I want to thank my colleague Freeholder Moen for recognizing you and the veterans. I do want to congratulate my colleague John Young. He was selected as the chair or the president of the South Jersey Freeholders Association. It's a great accomplishment, and they do a lot of great things. All 8 southern counties get together, and John is now in charge. So that's good. Thank you. I want to recognize the people who work at the Parks Department and Environmental Services. Maggie McCann-Johns, Jack Sarowski are here. They're doing, well, it's not summer season and it's not park season, but they are very, very busy getting the parks prepared for this upcoming season. They do a great job, and I do wanted to express my appreciation and our appreciation to them and to the men and women who work all of those services. They do a great job for the constituents, and otherwise I want to wish everybody a very happy and a healthy New Year.
Thank you, Freeholder Rodriguez.
Thank you, Director. I also want to thank Mayor and Council for inviting us in and opening your doors and the wonderful reception that we always receive in this town. It's always really nice to be here. I do want to take a minute to recognize also another team that works out there that I work with that has done the most fabulous job, and that's the Board of Social Services under Christine Henson. And we have Connie, who's also here, Jim Rhodes, who is our chairman on that board. As many of you know, the federal government is shut down. And basically what that means is not only are there 800,000 federal employees who are not getting paychecks, but now the money that's supposed to come for different services are not coming. One of those services is basically what we refer to as food stamps, which is the SNAP program. We know that money allotment is not going to come in February, and Christine and her team got together. They've been working with the state. We're notified late Friday that they would be reloading or providing people their allotment for February for their food stamps on the 17th of January. She very quickly turned around and a board of over 500 employees pulled in over 100 employees to come in Saturday, full days, work full days on Saturday, full day on Sunday, and overtime for the past week to ensure that every qualified individual who gets food stamps would be able to receive their February allotment today. They succeeded. They cleaned out all the books. They even went back and recertified, called people, make sure they brought in their documentation so that these individuals are over 30,000 residents in Camden County that depend on SNAP to be able to feed themselves so that they could receive that benefit. I want to thank you for your hard work because now we know that those individuals will be fed. They will have their food for February. We hope that the federal government will resolve their issues, but we know at least that particular population has been served and served very well by our Camden County Board of Social Services. Thank you so much. I'd like to congratulate Our Lady of Mount Carmel School, who is our middle school of character, as selected by our Camden County Technical School, who is the champion of School of Characters, and you can see that with all of the amazing champions that they have month after month, receiving statewide recognition for various programs. Everybody stay safe. It's really cold. I want to make sure that everybody stays safe because we're looking at some extreme weather. Keep your eye on the weather, what's happening. Code blue is something very serious. Check on your elderly, make sure your kids are bundled. And also, congratulations, John.
Thank you.
I know you're going to represent us well.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
Thank you, Freeholder Rodriguez. Freeholder Young.
Thank you, Director. I'd also like to thank Mayor and Council for sticking around. Most don't. You guys do, so I appreciate that for sure. And also like to thank my departments. I got communication here. Chief Jan Gass is here, Captain Hogan. Chris, again, thank you for all that you do. You're a really special guy, man. You really are. You do a great makeup job. Frank Sears over here from the One Stop. Thank you very much. Did I miss anybody? It's kind of hard doing that when you name people. You start missing people. That orange limit was good too. We tried it already. So I like to thank Ed for being there next to me. He's a good guy. So just a reminder, just a quick safety tip. I won't be long. I promise. As these cold, it gets real cold and start getting cold, just be real mindful of your heaters. Make sure you're checking your heaters. If you have to use candles, just make sure that they're 3 foot away from anything that could burn. They're on a stable base. Also, make sure that if by chance something should happen to your heater, do not use your oven to heat your house. I know it's kind of hard to do, but it's a real safety hazard. So just be real safe that these cold winter months are coming. And it's going to be really, really cold on Monday, so make sure that if you got some exposed pipes in there, that faucet cracked a little bit. So that's all I got.
Thank you. Freeholder Sitting Gula.
Thank you, Director. Good evening, everyone. It's really nice to be here in Runnemede, at the hometown of Freeholder Moen here, and thank you, Mayor, for hosting, and Council for being here. Really appreciate it. So we just wanted to say to you guys, I know that tonight it's going to start to snow. Please be mindful if you're going to be driving out to make sure that if you see one of our crew members that are out on the county roads, make sure that you are 6 car lengths behind them so that they can effectively clear out the roads and efficiently clear out the roads. And if there are any issues that you see, please call the number 856-566-2980. That's to report any issues, or if there's a mound of snow in the middle of the road that it needs to be clear, or you need more salt in the road, let us know with that phone number, and it's 856-566-2980. This is the first snowstorm, so we've been getting this whole week over 2,000 tons of salt. Throughout the county. We have 3 salt barns that have been filled to over 2,000 tons. There is another storm coming this Saturday into Sunday, so please be mindful. If you don't need to drive, please stay home. Have a nice hot cocoa with marshmallow by the fireplace, and in your PJs with fuzzy slippers. I think that's the best thing ever. You know, and 11, yes. We're having soup, so just want to say Happy New Year to everyone, and because this is our first meeting of the new year, Happy New Year, and stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you. Freeholder Moen.
Thank you, Mr. Director. I also want to thank the Mayor and Council for attending tonight and sticking out and hanging out with us through the meeting. I do want to recognize a few people in the audience that were former elected officials or other dignitaries from town. One who's been important in my life is Tony Beatrice. Tony's a former mayor and councilman in Runnemede. Tony, give us a wave. I think he's one of the first people that turned me on to the idea of pursuing public service in town. So thanks for being here, Tony. Good to see you. I also saw former councilman Bernie Moore. I don't know if he's still here, but Bernie, you are. Thanks for being here. And finally, Police Chief Daly in the back. Good to see you, Chief. Thanks for being here. I will be brief. Other than that, I just want to mention two veterans items. For those that did not see the news last night, we had a veteran in the county by the name of Peter Turnbull, who was from the Atco, Waterford area, who passed away and did not have any family or next of kin whatsoever. One of the local funeral homes in the county provided the casket, provided the services, arranged for his burial at the William Doyle Cemetery in Wrightstown, the Brigadier General State Veteran Cemetery. Those services are tomorrow at 1:30. We are just encouraging anybody that is interested in showing respect to a veteran, saying welcome home. He's a Vietnam veteran. If you're available, feel free to take the ride up and pay respects on behalf of the county. It's been amazing in the conversations I've had in the last few hours, at this point, the last few days, of people in our community that are committed to making sure that this veteran gets the proper goodbye, whether it's our Camden County American Legion or the VFWs, or for those in Runnemede that know the Warrior Watch Riders, the folks that accompany and escort by motorcycle our veterans who come home, and those that are going to the final resting place. We've had an outpouring of interest in showing this veteran off. So if there's anybody that's interested, feel free to find me after the meeting. I'm happy to provide more information, but I think that was important and special to share with everyone. And the other veteran item that I'd like to mention is I was reading the obituaries today and noticed that in Camden County we lost today a gentleman by the name of John Pritchett III, who was 99 years old and was a Tuskegee Airman from Pennsauken. So, as we go home and remember, what all we have great in our lives, just don't forget the sacrifices of these heroes, and especially somebody like Mr. Pritchett. So thank you, and have a great night.
Thank you. Deputy Director McDonald.
Thank you, Director. First of all, thanks to John, Eleanor, Craig, Pat. Thank you for being here and hosting us tonight. And Nick, Mayor Nick, thank you so much. Always glad to be here. I also wanted to recognize Pat Fitzgerald, who's the superintendent of a vocational technical school. And I'd like to add to Carmen's remarks about Jim Rhodes and Christine. Thank you so much for what you did. You've so enhanced the lives of people for this coming next month of February. What you did for those folks and the way you motivated your employees to put in the extra effort and put in the time to help those folks. It's a wonderful thing. So thank you both very much. Congratulate Bob Del Sordo for his prestigious award tonight. I was a little confused though, Bob, that you're Mr. Runnemede. believe. Bill Moen's been telling me since I met him that he's... Apparently he's not. So thanks everybody for being here.
Thank you. Thank you. John, congratulations on your new leadership role. I'm sure you'll do a great job with all the enthusiasm that you put into being a freeholder. So congratulations. And Bill, great work with the veterans and what you're doing for this veteran who died alone is something really admirable. So thank you very much for what you're doing. You're doing great work for the board and for the residents of Camden County. I want to thank all the employees of Camden County for the hard work they do day in and day out on behalf of our residents. And with that, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Good night, everybody.